Welcome back to the Stache Club Wrestling Podcast presented by FanDuel. My name is John.
My name is Jimmy.
Folks, welcome to the biggest episode of the year, or the second biggest, considering sometimes the pod after Mania is also just as big. But today, it is our official WrestleMania 42 predictions episode. Folks, we're chatting everything, all 13 matches, what happened on Raw and what have you, and then I believe we'll probably get to some AEW Dynasty toward the end of the show.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Jimmy, we have a lot to get to. First and foremost, first of all, thank you all for being here. We appreciate the support. A couple plugs. We will have a live stream right here in person on this channel. Jimmy and I hanging out, cracking some beers for both Saturday and Sunday. Again, that's this weekend. Be on the lookout for those live streams. And please join us. It's always, to be honest with you, it's like it's my favorite stream of the year. Next to Royal Rumble. It's one of my favorite streams of the year. It's one of my favorite, things we do on the channel. So yeah, looking forward to that live streams this weekend. And during those live streams, you, the fans, will be defending your SCW Predictions Championship. You've held on to it for a while. I was unable to stream Dynasty, so you got away with a little free space. But Jimmy and I are coming back for this title separately, obviously, but I think you've had it for too damn long. Jimmy, how are we feeling going in this weekend before we dive into our official predictions?
I want my baby back. As we all know, I'm undefeated at WrestleMania. Last year, I took the crown. I took your mustache, and I'm going to take the title. What a time it was. But man, I'm excited. It's the most exciting time of the year. It's a Super Bowl of wrestling. How could I not be excited? And yeah, man, I don't have predictions today. I got spoilers, John. I got spoilers.
I don't know what happened, but I think WrestleMania 40, I swept. I got everything right. WrestleMania 41, it didn't do as hot.
You know why you swept WrestleMania 40?
Tell me.
You were there
in person,
so you saw the muscles, you saw the holds in person. You're like, oh, I know.
I was in person, saw it before everyone on TV, so I changed my picks real quick. Okay. Plugs, subscribe, blah, blah, blah. Oh, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/Stache Club Wrestling. We're going to talk for just another whole hour chit-chatting. Jimmy said music is in. So
yes.
We'll see what's
we
going on
sometimes
there.
do a buy or sell. I'm buying music, man. And not just not new music. I'm discovering the old stuff. I found a good playlist, and there's so much music out there. I'm in a good music flow.
Hell yeah. All right, let's just dive in, what have you. Let's start out. We're going to try to go in semi-order. Obviously, the order isn't fully out, but we'll start here. Official predictions, night one, starting out with what's going to be on ESPN2. We have The Vision and ishowspeed versus the Usos and LA Knight. I don't know if it's going to be on. This will probably be, I don't know. Doesn't matter. Who do you got and why? Do you have any initial thoughts, initial what have you?
Yes, this match is kind of hard to predict a little bit. I'm pretty excited about this match for one. Of the celebrity involvement, I've enjoyed Mr. Speed probably the most out of anyone. And I'm a big Logan Paul fan to a degree. Do you see how he might be on roids? Do you think he might be on roids? Do you see how big he's getting?
He's getting jacked.
he's getting a little jacked. Maybe it's just the prime protein.
That's what it is. It's the new prime protein bottle.
Because the wrestlers can't be doing that no more. But with that being said, I think I'm going with the baby faces. I'm going to pick the Usos and LA Knight to start off WrestleMania on a happy note. I think that's kind of a good thing for an opener to be. And then the thing is that ishowspeed, maybe you want to put over the new celebrity guy. But at the same time, his relationship with the Vision has been kind of forced on screen, and that's a kind of part of the storyline. I think maybe he will come to, the realization that these guys are douchebags, and I shouldn't be with them. But so I'm picking the Usos and LA Knight.
I'm also going Usos and LA Knight. There's no real reason. There's no reason for anyone to win in this match. Sure, you could argue maybe you want to keep the Vision a little strong for the sake of them still being the Vision. But I think with the involvement of ishowspeed, you really want the team of the Weekly Pro Wrestlers, which you still have Austin Theory there. You still have Logan Paul's been showing up a lot. But I think it would do not a lot of harm, but a lot more harm than it would to the Usos and LA Knight if they lost. So I think you're on ESPN2. You have the good guys win, open up the weekend, Usos and LA Knight. Everyone on ESPN gets to see them, doing the yeet thing, coming down from the audience. But yeah, to me, it's just that. I am excited for Speed. I think he'll be pretty impressive. I think they showed a little video package.
What did you think about that?
In terms of just like his wrestling or just like the video package?
Just the video package in general.
I mean, if you're asking me in the sense of like, breaking kayfabe or like peeking behind the curtain too much,
not really. Just more so like, why show? I show speed. Why show the kind of the goods before we get there a little bit?
Oh, like hold it off to be like, see, he's actually good. Yeah,
him doing the moves is kind of like the spectacle and the kind of like the whoa factor at WrestleMania. Why show a video?
If I already know that like he can like do a moonsault, then yeah,
so
that's true.
I thought it was well produced and it was kind of cool, but at the same time, I was like, you're kind of jumping the shark a little bit with
it's kind of what I mean, like, I don't think there's a real reason like why they did it, but like I had the same thoughts with like why announce Demon Finn Balor ahead of time, you know what I mean, as one or two other things. But no, I agree, that's actually a really good point. I didn't really think of that. But I think he'll be entertaining. I also, like, in that video package, he had kind of like align himself a little bit more with Logan in theory. It was a little less of like, I don't want to be here sort of thing, or I just got roped in. So establishes the team more, but I don't have much else to say other than I think it's just going to be the faces to be on ESPN, start out the night hot. So I don't want to spoil anything, but I'll tell you what, I don't think I have a whole lot of faces winning on night one.
Okay.
I don't know. I might just spoil the whole thing, but
kind of like a dynasty ode a little bit.
Maybe.
A lot of heels over that pay-per-view.
All right, we'll move on to Jacob Fatu versus Drew McIntyre in an unsanctioned match. Obviously, for those that don't know, unsanctioned match, these guys aren't cleared to compete, and WWE won't be held liable if someone gets injured. And also brought to you by Papa John's, and also streaming
Is that
for
actually
free.
the accurate
Someone
sponsor?
said it on Reddit. I haven't
Papa
double checked. Someone said it on
John's.
Reddit. And then on also on ESPN too. Which, to be honest with you, I am surprised that this one is on ESPN too, considering. Well, you know what? I said this before, and I backtrack, because ESPN does show, like, UFC fights and people getting their actual faces smashed in. So maybe a little bit of blood or someone getting hit in the head with a trash can isn't the craziest thing that ESPN has seen. But to me, it just seems like they would kind of keep, like, a real hardcore thing behind the paywall or something.
Well, guess what? If it's scaled back at all, we know why.
Well, yeah, exactly. I'll be honest with you, this whole WrestleMania, I think is really hard to predict. Like, I think the past Manias or like past WWE pay-per-views have been like pretty, not easy, but like you can kind of see where we're going. I think this whole Mania has been hard to predict. I'm going with Drew McIntyre right now. I think both of them need the win. Jacob Fatu was a lot hotter than he was now, and I think he could really use the momentum again. But also, Drew McIntyre just loses here. And I know this has been the story, it won't be shocking, but it's just more just like Drew lost, Drew loses, he looks like a loser, he looks like a dummy, and it's like, what are you doing with Drew McIntyre? I don't know. I'm not too confident. I don't know. By the time this conversation's over, I might go back with Jacob, but I'm thinking if you're on ESPN, you have faces win the tag match, have a heel win here. I don't know. I'm picking Drew. I guess.
This is my like most sure pick of the weekend, I think.
Yeah.
I'm going Jacob Fatu.
It's probably going to be Jacob.
He's the guy on the come up. Drew has been with the company since, Yoshi Tatsu was in the halls, you know what I mean? And that's no disrespect to Drew, but I totally get where you're coming from, where, Drew has just lost the WWE Championship. He's kind of on a downward swing. He is a top star of the company. Why would you do that? But Jacob Fatu, you got to rise the new cream of the crop. You got to put over Jacob Fatu.
But how often does WWE do that?
Hopefully
We'll
this will be the event they do that in abundance.
Yeah, you're telling me.
And I think too, this is kind of a lame duck thing to mention, and I'm not sure exactly how accurate it is, but I've heard rumblings of it. I think Drew might be filming a movie after this.
Oh, maybe.
So you might be
Aren't
going
they
on.
all?
Either, I mean, this is what we do, brother. The third letter, entertainment. It might be like a Highlander movie, which I think kind of sounds sick
cool.
because he's Scottish. So all that being said,
yeah.
I think maybe we could get a break from Drew. He comes back during SummerSlam and with a bat out of hell. But with that being said, Jacob Fatu for me, he really needs to win too.
100%.
And not to be super critical, but like. Jacob Fatu during this feud, with the time he's gotten on the stick or he had a chance to speak, not really connecting with the crowd. He's getting what chance, and I think Jacob Fatu is way better as a heel than babyface, as most people are. But I'm picking Jacob Fatu here. He needs a win.
I don't. Yeah, I'm. To be honest with you, I'm not changing. I don't think I'm gonna change my pick because I'll be kicking myself if like we're watching. I'm like, I knew I should have stuck with Drew, but I'm pretty convinced too. Like you're right. He is like the new guy. Again, I just keep on going back to Drew though. Of just like you have a Drew McIntyre, and this is just like how you keep like treating him. I will say this. Coming off of Friday, the hype levels for this match on this end of the table skyrocketed after this past Friday. So I'm looking forward to this match. I think it'll be fun. Am curious really how much they lean into like, because at this point they're like, we're going to kill each other. Am curious how actually hardcore and brutal it's going to be, but we'll see.
I can see a big jumping off something spot, like kind of killing Drew for a bit. Like whether it's him, being thrown off something or whatever, I think Drew's going to have like a very big time exit for losing this match and maybe for a little while on TV after this.
Or in the same sense, Jacob misses that big jump and it's just Drew 1, 2, 3, and then Drew McIntyre walks out.
Never know.
Because ESPN gets to see this big hunky guy go off to make, oh, that guy's in this. I want to go watch that movie now.
Cody was on ESPN doing Get Up with Mike Greenberg, and they're doing word association, maybe copying from Stache Club. I don't know. And he said Drew McIntyre, and Cody Rhodes just goes muscles.
Yeah,
and I'm like, that's pretty accurate.
All right, we'll move on to for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. We have AJ Lee, the champion, versus Becky Lynch. This one was pretty hard to pick. We'll start with you this time. What do you got?
I'm going big time Becky Lynch. I think she has really made the women's IC title. I also believe that AJ Lee, to me, still just kind of screams Roman Reigns schedule, kind of a hard timing type thing. And she's had her moment. She won the IC title, but I think she's kind of will be elevated to a higher storyline. Hopefully this will be it for this storyline too. I think this feud should probably wrap up here.
Yeah, I agree.
And then to me too, kind of a bonus prediction afterwards. I think Becky loses the title the next night on Raw to someone. I'm not sure who yet, but to someone. But with that being said, though, overall prediction wise, I'm going Becky Lynch over AJ Lee at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I have similar thinking. I do think this is kind of it for this run, at least for now. I do think we will see AJ Lee again, but in terms of this like run and frequency right now, I think it's kind of it for AJ Lee, and maybe she'll kind of come back, maybe around SummerSlam or something. But I thought months ago this was going to be like WrestleMania was going to be the crowning moment for AJ Lee, but now that she's had it for a while and we had the crowning moment, and thinking now that like she's gonna, might be taking a break or dipping back out after Mania, why have this crowning moment at Mania if we're not getting AJ Lee post Mania? It just seems like the time to put it back on the person who's working full time. It's the rematch since AJ Lee got the title off Becky. Yeah, I think Becky Lynch is walking out with the IC title. And I'll tell you what, again, like getting, having this heel pick and then other maybe potential heel picks, I was like, well, Jacob would be a pretty easy face pick for me, but I don't know. It's not in stone right now. But yeah,
I'm trying not to look at my card, because if I do get in my head about like, oh my god, I'm picking all heels, or oh my god, I'm picking all faces, then I will start freaking out.
That's what I mean with like night one is I'm like, are they really gonna have like this? But I don't know.
Gotta go with the heart.
But yeah, that's kind of all I have to say about this match. I'm looking forward to this match. I think it'll be good. I think the build has been, solid. It's not the best, but I am really curious to see what AJ Lee can do on a big stage here at Mania. It'll be cool to just see her like, at a WrestleMania, defending her IC title. Like, just have a cool moment for AJ Lee. And then, obviously Becky Lynch will come out with like a ton of star power. But yeah, this is I have not much else to say about this other than just like looking forward to it. I think it'll be fun.
And we're not the only ones saying it.
Sports Illustrated saying it. Bleacher Report saying it. Stache Club Wrestling's saying it.
ESPN's saying it.
ESPN's damn saying it.
Dunkin' Donuts is saying it.
Next one, we'll go to what has jumped up to me as like my second or maybe third most anticipated match: Seth Rollins versus Gunther. And we know what's crazy? People are still like running with like, well, this match doesn't make any sense and has no story, but it's gonna be the best of the weekend. They gave us so much. This has so much story now. You know what I mean? This is like, I don't know why people. I think maybe that was the narrative when it first got booked like weeks ago, and it was like, yeah, screw it, Gunther versus Seth, which I was all for. But since then, we've gotten like Gunther coming in and Seth assuming he was with Paul, Gunther saying he's not with Paul. Then the following week, Gunther really explaining why. He's like, no, this is personal. And hey, if I can kill two birds with one stone and take care of Paul Heyman's problem while also proving that I'm the best, because I'm sick of everyone being like, oh, Seth Rollins is the work rate guy. Seth Rollins the best wrestler. No, I'm the best wrestler. And then I think there'll still be some sort of Paul Heyman and Vision stuff. It still adds another sort of Vision obstacle for Seth Rollins. But at the end of the day, it does end up just being like some Vision and Paul Heyman stuff in the background, but goes to who, I think a lot of people consider Seth Rollins the most consistent and the best worker that WWE's had to the level he is in a while, versus Gunther, who doesn't maybe get, has been undersold by a lot of fans in terms of his work rate and work rate ability. With that said, you went last time. I'll give you mine. This one's pretty tough. It would be a good Seth Rollins win. It's WrestleMania, face, Yahoo. He's still pretty recently back, right? But I'm picking Gunther. I think Gunther needs this win, especially since we've been doing the career killer thing. He's coming off of retiring John Cena and AJ Styles, and months before that, he retired Goldberg. He was gonna face Rey Mysterio at this WrestleMania. So I think if you want, and then also not to really get down the rabbit hole here, but if you want to look way to SummerSlam, still the idea is Gunther versus Brock, right? Yeah. I think you want Gunther to win here. If Seth loses, it doesn't do anything super negative for Seth. And I think there will be like Vision inclusion. I don't want to steal your thunder if you were also going to mention this, but I could see a Braun Breaker coming in.
Oh, no. I haven't even thought about Mr. Breaker. that sounds awesome.
You know what I mean? So I don't think Seth will lose like straight up clean. As much as that might stink for WrestleMania, I prefer maybe cleaner stuff. But this is an instance where have a good match, have a return breaker. Gunther still gets the W. You can still have Gunther being built up. Because to me, it doesn't make any sense if you have Gunther doing what he's done for the past few months and then lose to like Seth Rollins here, who his career's not on the line or nothing. But I'm going with Gunther, official pick.
You really just smacked my brain with the Braun Breaker thing. That's probably gonna happen, man.
Kind of what you did with Jacob, to be honest with you.
Oh man.
Or Bronson Reed, I guess.
But I'll tell you what. I mean, God forbid, though, we get two of the greatest professional wrestlers walking the planet facing off of WrestleMania, and people still will find something to complain about. I'm hyped for this match. I can't freaking wait. And like you said, like the build on Raw, the explanation I thought was enough. And even so, one thing I liked about what Gunther said was like, when I won the title back from Jey Uso, you decided to go be a knucklehead and not even challenge me and go do your Vision shit with Paul Heyman.
You've been ducking me.
You've been ducking me, which like I like that aspect of it. It's just if you're in the professional wrestling business, you want to be the top guy, and these two guys both want to be the top guy, and Gunther wants to take him out. The career killer thing now on the screen, that's the official nickname, and he's not going to end Seth Rollins' career at WrestleMania, but you can still have that moniker and still wear the badges of honor of retiring John Cena, retiring Goldberg, retiring Styles. The Braun Breaker thing, though, I gotta tell you, the more I'm thinking about it, as much as Braun Breaker is like top 3 of my favorite wrestlers in the company right now, I just want a clean finish. Like,
hey, you're telling me.
Yeah, like you said, the Vision.
You're watching the wrong show.
Yeah, for sure. But like, even like in the booking aspect of like it would keep Seth protected. So, but at the same time, like Gunther and Seth Rollins should tear the house down and have a match of the year candidate. And I'm picking Gunther though. I am. Did
you have Seth beforehand? You were going Gunther anyway?
No, I was picking Gunther. Yeah. I mean, you can't really give him a loss at this juncture in his career.
I agree. All right, we'll move on to. I guess before we move on, do you think this will steal the weekend? I think this has potential. I think be match of the weekend. There's some other contenders.
That's so hard, man, because there's 14 matches, and I even think there's a match that people haven't been liking too much that I think could steal the show. So I don't know, man. It's like on paper, yes, but also too to take into consideration maybe lower our expectations a bit because Seth is coming off a pretty big injury. So maybe don't go 120 miles per hour. Maybe have a slow, methodical match like Gunther just dominates. Maybe you shouldn't have the match of the century just because hope Seth's health stays in put. So going against Gunther is not always the best solution to that. But
we'd like to take a break in the episode. Tell you about our sponsor today, FanDuel. College basketball is nonstop. big games, tight spreads, momentum swings every night. And now FanDuel is giving you a way to turn that energy into even bigger wins with a college basketball parlay profit boost. Here's how it works. Build any college hoops parlay you like, the early tip, the rivalry game, the ranked matchup, the late night West Coast shootout, mix spreads, totals, props, whatever fits your read of the slate. Then just apply your profit boost and instantly bump up that potential payout. Go safe, go spicy, go with the team you've been following all season. It's your parlay, your style, now with more upside behind it. Head to fanduel.com/believe to get started. It's BLEAV. FanDuel, play your game. Must be 21 plus and present in select states. For Kansas, in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, or 18 plus and present in DC, Kentucky, or Wyoming. Opt-in required. Minimum 2-leg parlay required. Bonus issued on non-withdrawable Boost Builder tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amounts. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or 1-800-MY-RESET. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York. For Louisiana, call 1-877-770-7867. Thank you to FanDuel for sponsoring today's episode. Now back to the show. All right, we'll move on to the Women's Tag Team Championship Fatal 4-Way match with the champions, the Irresistible Forces of Nia Jax and Last Legend, taking on Charlotte Flair and Alexa versus Bayley and Lyra Valkyria versus the Bella Twins. Real quick here, there's been, rumors or chitter chatter that Nikki Bella is still injured, dealing with I believe, ankle injury or leg injury or something like that. Mm-hmm. And the rumor here is that if she doesn't get cleared, the Bellas might get taken out altogether and replaced with the Kabuki Warriors of Asuka and Kairi Sane, which I don't know where we're going to talk about, but I could write a novel about the non-inclusion of one Io Sky in this whole weekend.
Fantasy booking. Oh, Bellas are out. Replacement Kabuki Warriors. The Kabuki Warriors trotting down. Io attacks Asuka.
Wait, then teams like
there's
Kyrie.
Still a match. Io and Kyrie tag team.
Or I'll do you one better.
Do it.
Who I would argue they've had even more history. Nikki Bella gets taken out, and it's just Brie Bella standing there. Where's my teammate? Io Sky joins Brie Bella and looks at Brie Bella in the eye and says, "Remember our battles in the Tokyo Dome? Remember us in Stardom?" I'm just kidding, everyone.
Oh my God.
I'm joking.
No, it's just enough. It's just crazy enough to get us all killed.
Well, then again, didn't Nikki Bella what was the segment like forever ago where Nikki Bella or like Io Sky was like, "I look up to you, Nikki Bella."
Yes,
like that was
yeah. That's so funny.
But okay.
So a lot of confusion around this tag match right now, just because the card subject to change possibly.
Little bit.
Yeah.
Either way, I think at least going into this, a lot of people were looking at the Bellas taking this. Actually, I don't want to. I start with the last one. You go ahead. I'm curious who you have.
I'm gonna go Bayley and Lyra. I really enjoy both of them. It's kind of just more a fanfare thing than I actually trying to predict the match itself, because I definitely could see them wanting Lash Legend to really show out and retain her tag titles with Nia Jax, the Irresistible Forces, but that's boring. Let's switch it up and have a fun Mania moment and crown two women that have been carrying the mid-card women's scene for the past calendar year. So give me Bayley and Lyra. I don't think they have a long reign by any means, but a WrestleMania moment nonetheless.
Yeah, I have the same pick. It's the feel-good pick. What I was gonna say is the Bellas, I think, were the favorites in terms of just like, but the Bellas never held the tag team titles, and this is their return at Mania, and it would also be a cool feel good moment, almost nostalgia thing, for them to hold the tag team titles. But one, barring injury, but also two, in general, it kind of goes to the AJ Lee thing, is like, are the Bellas really sticking around or being that prominent on TV that much post Mania? I don't know.
I'm sure they'd want to.
Yeah, maybe. But I really do like the idea of Bayley and Lyra. They feel like they've earned it. It's the storyline between them has been real murky in terms of like they were doing the Bayley crazy thing and they were doing like the, she has 8 voices in her head or whatever. They really dropped that and just like went back to like, no, Bayley and Lyra are homies again, which is cool. But I think Bayley and Lyra, they're a good team to continue putting the team on their back. I wouldn't be surprised if after this, Charlotte and Alexa maybe part ways as a team. Not that I want that, but I could just see a little shakeup, or even just like the fact that Charlotte Flair has been out of singles competition for this long. It's been cool, it's been refreshing, but like I could see her getting back into a world title picture or what have you. But I'm also with Bayley and Lyra. I think it'll be cool. It'll be fun.
I'm super over on Lyra, and she had a great match against Charlotte on Raw. So I think that it could be a thing too. I could see maybe Charlotte and Alexa getting upset with the outcome, maybe turning heel, as a tag team.
Ooh, that's fun. I'm not mad at that. All right, we'll go to the. Hold on, sorry, getting notes. The Women's World Championship. Stephanie Vaquer, the champion, taking on Liv Morgan.
Thoughts on Trouble?
On the spot. I don't
be
wanna,
honest. Be honest.
I don't wanna. It's not, I didn't add it to my Spotify playlist.
Well, I did.
I'm more so just confused in terms of like I don't really
the song or yeah.
In terms of like why does she? It just seems like out of nowhere. Whether it's good, even if it was like an amazing song or whatever, which I think the reception, maybe the tone would have been a little different. But I'm more so just kind of, and I'm saying this. I'm not. Believe me, I'm not saying this in terms of like she shouldn't be doing this. I'm just really curious. Like, has she always wanted to get into music? Has she always wanted to be like this pop star thing? This dropped out of nowhere.
I had no idea she had a singing bug at all.
Yeah, so
unless I missed something.
So more so that's kind of where I'm at. It's just like, oh, what? I don't know, but like, I don't know.
As someone that yearns for
I'll be on the Patreon. My real thoughts will be on the Patreon.com/AskWrestling.
Great plug.
What I really think of this song.
Absolutely.
But I love this build.
Yeah.
In terms of anticipation, or at least like build wise, there's an argument for top three. Obviously, it started out with a lot of, which honestly, I think CM Punk might have stole a little Stephanie Vaquer's script, because Stephanie Vaquer has really been like, I was on the indies and I worked to be here. Oh. Meanwhile, you were manufactured to be here. It was less about like family, less about envy. But just saying,
I wouldn't be surprised.
And then they got a little, we got a little headbutt between Liv and Roxanne. So Liv's got like the big old bump on her head. The character work that Liv Morgan has been shining in this, really tapping into like the crazy girl, unhinged sort of thing, crazy eyes, hair all on her face, screaming at the top of her lungs she hates Stephanie so much.
I was
awesome.
I was legitimately scared watching
terrifying
that during that moment, like legitimately. Like she struck as much fear as me as back in the day as Kane and the Undertaker did back in the day. It was like that scary.
Imagine being stuck in your apartment, like she's your girlfriend. Imagine being stuck in your apartment and you're like having an argument, and that's what she unleashes on you, and she's screaming, she's throwing the fucking lamp. Like, that's terrifying. You know what I mean?
Well, in that scenario, it kind of reversed it for me a little bit. But regardless, I see what you're saying, yes. Stephanie's promos have been really good, too.
Stephanie's been killer.
I was saying I need the transition, the subtitles, but like it comes off as massive star power, and she's been great. I love the how composed she is. Yes.
Like I love the dichotomy of it, where she's like calm, confident, still gonna like attack her and defend herself and whatever, but like in terms of promo, she's not screaming at Liv. Meanwhile, Liv's like, it's really, really cool. Like Stephanie feels like the champion here. But this is WrestleMania. I'm picking Liv Morgan. I think we're getting a new champ here. I think it's Liv's time. I can't speak highly enough about the character work and what she's been doing on TV. She's been such a prominent and A-plus player on WWE for so long. I think it's time to get her that world title back, and I'm really, really excited to see kind of what she does with that. Especially getting back to seeing what happens with Judgment Day post like this WrestleMania. Are we getting back to like Liv and Dom running shit with Liv as the world champion? I don't know. It just kind of seems like a time for a title. As good as Stephanie has been, Just kind of seems like a time to do something new. I don't know. Do you disagree? Do you have different thoughts? Who are you going with?
I'm agreeing with you. I'm picking Liv Morgan. I think this is, she won the Rumble. This is her time to shine. She's really earned this moment. But it was tough though, because Stephanie, while having a pretty good run, hasn't had too much substance in terms of matches.
Yeah,
it's kind of a shame, but she will be back on top in no time. The Liv Morgan, crown her ass. She's really deserved it. And maybe Dom pops the question afterwards. Maybe we get that wedding. That'd finally. I need it.
If I want them to they need to do another. They need to as their couples counselor. They need to take the next step in their relationship.
Yes, I agree.
In one way or another. But yeah, that's kind of. I'm glad you mentioned. I kind of forgot about the Royal Rumble of it all, but seeing her emotion, or I think a lot of, especially WrestleMania nowadays, last year we got Dom winning the IC title, and that was such a cool moment. And he's supposed to be heel, but he goes in and bathes in the admiration of the crowd, right, holding that title. I think there's gonna be another iteration or moment for Liv Morgan where she gets this title again, and the real emotions come out. Giano Daddio comes out in that ring, and just I think it's gonna be a special moment. But okay, main event of night one, folks. We have for the WWE Championship, Cody Rhodes, the champion, taking on Randy Orton with one Pat McAfee in his corner. The added stipulation here is if Randy Orton loses, Pat McAfee will leave the pro wrestling business for good. Thoughts? Who do you got and why? I don't know if we want to talk about we talk about SmackDown in terms of promo and stuff. We can't go another 50 minutes on it like last week, but I don't know. I'll kind of give the ball to you before giving my pick.
Wasting away down in WrestleMania, searching for my story with common sense. Some people claim that there's a Cody to blame, nice. And I know it's just TKO. Baby girl,
what
let's
song
go.
Is that?
That's Margaritaville. Jimmy Buffett.
Okay. I recognized the beginning of it, and then I really couldn't pick it up. I think Pat McAfee has a song. So I was wondering if you were singing Pat McAfee's song.
I don't know the reason. Can't wait for football season. With nothing to show but to look at Cody's tattoo.
Oh, I was wondering why you wrote down.
It's a real beauty. Raheem is a real cutie. How I got here, I haven't had a clue. And then the chorus again. Regardless, though, I'm in the minority, as many people know. I actually still am enjoying this. I will say the SmackDown thing, the promo and the stuff we got on SmackDown with McAfee, Orton, Jelly Roll, Cody. The only thing I really didn't like about that was Jelly Roll. This is the only sector of this storyline I'm not in. And again, I'm hypocritical because the reasons of it. It's Jelly Roll to me screams so much of he's forced into this and he doesn't belong here. Though the whole storyline with McAfee is just that itself.
I think I saw your tweet that made me laugh. I think someone replied to you something like that said I also like it too, and you replied with the Arrested Development Never Nude thing or whatever, the Blue Man, whichever thing
Tobias.
he's doing. Yeah, Tobias, and he's like, there's dozens of us.
That's what it feels like.
I think it's genuinely so true. Here's my take. We talked about it a lot on last week's episode, and I really had a open mind. I didn't love what we got so far, but Punk really turned it around for me, and I was like, you know what? They have an opportunity to do it. I've never seen a punter fuck up a easy kick in my life so bad as what it was on SmackDown. I think they had an opportunity to Punk set him up, right? And he just, as if fucking girl from Charlie Brown took the ball right from under him, and he just whoop. I hated it. I really didn't like it. I also thought Cody's response was very weak because he just, I just think there wasn't much to deal with. And obviously the Jelly Roll stuff capped on, which it killed me, the backstage of Jelly Roll and Pat McAfee looking at each other.
That's what I kind of signed off. I thought the Cody thing was good. I mean, he kind of says what a lot of us are thinking about Pat, which is go home, Pat. And I thought it connected, started the chant with the crowd, whatever.
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, good.
I was going to say the only part I like this part a lot was the first 3 minutes with the rebuttal to Punk.
The check to Saudi Arabia, which is like a lot of that stuff to me just jumps off of like, oh my God, they're shooting. This shit kind of feels real.
I thought that part was awesome.
Yeah.
I have to give credit where credit is due. I thought
Punk
that
is
was
a hypocrite.
awesome.
And then Roman used it on the video package for Raw.
Yep,
So
I really like Roman's video package too. But then after that, it just ended up like kind of just being like the same old, or not same old, but like, the same stuff he was saying, more about ticket sales, more about, now tickets are 25% off.
Yeah, why is the heel giving us a 25% off deal? Like, and why he also advertised that as like the special announcement. Like, who gives a shit as someone that's watching on TV, not going to Mania? And a lot of it definitely is nonsensical, but like just in terms of just like entertainment, I'm in there. And I think there's a story to be played for sure. But again, the Jelly Roll stuff, as soon as Randy Orton's revealed to come get your boy, like
funny,
sucks.
dude.
And then having to see McAfee, Jelly Roll, like, go for the choke slam on McAfee, and like it really does. I understand the other perspective of people hating this just to actually hate the feud itself, not just the heel heat thing of McAfee, just hating the storyline itself.
That's what I was saying beforehand. Is like I really see the potential of McAfee as this like corporate mouthpiece and whatever. Like I said it last week. Like he had a great promo the week before. I really thought this one was pretty weak in my opinion. But again, the potential is there, and to me, like and not to say, if they keep on this story going, like not to say there's potential to, tweak it or get back to a Pat McAfee cutting like a good promo, or because I really, the big speculations were really leaning to WWE versus TKO. To be honest with you, I'm kind of not putting the cart before the horse on that one, and sure, that is like the story they're telling that should, if that's the reaction people are getting, fine. People have ran with WWE versus TKO, and I'm just holding my chickens. You know what I mean?
That to me will really save it to me, because I saw another thing too that was like a lot of the WrestleManias in recent years have kind of led up to or started the groundwork for what happens at War Games. So like WWE versus TKO would make a lot of sense for War Games in a few months. That being said, like it was initially one of the first things I thought of when McAfee was the reveal. I'm like, oh, what if we get a massive TKO versus WWE feud? And I instantly was like, oh, put Triple H in there, which now like he would actually make a lot more sense for the WWE side of things, because again, I like McAfee's involvement, but also learning about the allegedly, because again, like you can take all these reports with a grain of salt, but like actually learning that he McAfee is being shooed in for corporate synergy, and Ari Emanuel just has a huge boner for him, and like it does kind of like, oh, this is actually really bad, and kind of exactly what happened with last year's Mania with the Travis Scott stuff, and like is this actually the reality that we're living in, where WWE creative works so hard throughout the year to get to WrestleMania, the big show, and they just want to completely ruin it, adding their own thing to it, completely negating 20 years of history, which is the 20 years of history thing. I think we're going to get to WrestleMania. There's a show literally right after WrestleMania. I think Cody and Randy's feud will go on until maybe SummerSlam. So there will be a lot of good callbacks and stuff like that. So I think people can just kind of wait on that. Given though, but I still understand the criticism. But regardless,
again, I think that's my biggest thing.
I'm happy to root for Cody.
I think that's my biggest thing, is that like I don't dislike like Pat being fucking the corporate spokesperson or whatever. I just think it was wrong place, wrong time. And here's like wrong place. I just don't see why it need to be in Cody Randy. And to be honest with you, I don't, as much as I can, I think I can talk so negative about like the Pat stuff because he was the one on the mic, but you're right. Also, the Jelly Roll stuff is just like,
that I can't defend, because even insane. So his role as a babyface, there's no part of me where, and now too, I'm over with like, because I would be honest with my opinions of Jelly Roll, of like, I just don't like him, and like, because fundamentally he has done well with like certain things, but now I swear to God, if I see another Jelly Roll promo where he just kind of goes like this. Like he says what he says to say, and it leaves his mouth open.
Randy, this ain't you. Cody, come on, you love him.
And even him, so like where the dialogue in the script is calling him for him to call himself out on the ship, like I shouldn't be here either. Then why the hell are you here, Jelly Roll? And like and like it's just tough for me, because then I get worked into the thing of where like I'm supposed to be on the side of Jelly Roll. Cody's my guy, and like that's one thing overall in the grand scheme of things with this rivalry. And like because again, I understand that WWE is a Super Bowl of wrestling. wrestling, so you need that celebrity involvement, you need eyeballs, corporate synergy, ESPN. You're trying to get the viewer that doesn't always watch wrestling. I even heard Stepdad the other day kind of watching ESPN. They go, I didn't know WWE was this big. Why is it on ESPN? This and that. So I was like, oh shit. I mean, there you go.
Yeah.
And I even with getting what I kind of wanted out of this feud, which like I was kind of gritting my teeth about, which is, oh man, Randy Orton committed murder on Cody Rhodes, and people are losing their minds cheering for it. Which, like, again, in aspects of wrestling, and especially modern wrestling, in many ways that is okay, but not when like you're the top babyface and you're getting murdered. So like I don't know. For me, the grand scheme of thing with adding McAfee to Orton, the fact that we can now boo Randy Orton and I want Cody Rhodes to win the main event of WrestleMania is like overall grand scheme a good thing, but not so if a large part of the WWE audience is like, oh, I'm not even watching night one, which some people are saying that, but I don't believe them. But
yeah,
I do understand I'm just one person, and just because I enjoy it doesn't mean that I can't ignore the vast majority of people that really just truly hate it, and beyond heel heat, which I understand is a point I've been making, was like, oh, if it's good heat, but like not all heat is good heat, whatever. But
I was trying to find more so like some like direct quotes. I didn't, but I can't really find anything. Yeah, so okay, but
predictions.
What'd you say?
Predictions.
Yeah, predictions. I had to that point, I was doing Yays and Booze the other day, and someone, it's kind of to your point. And again, you know, we're pretty different on this Pat McAfee stuff, which like I like, because like I don't want this whole podcast us being like, I agree with you. But I saw someone sending a game boo. I put it in my video, and they were like, hey, this is probably a boo, but like, you know, I'm pretty hyped for this Mania. I'm gonna be in Vegas, and I think I'm gonna get a last minute ticket to go to Sunday. But like, I know I shouldn't be too hyped because like the build hasn't been there. But like, you know, and they gave themselves a boo because they almost felt like
guilty for liking it.
Guilty is the word for like liking it or whatever. And I was just like, hey, listen. I was like, don't listen to us. Don't listen to all these content. I'm not gonna super reiterate my whole point for my video, but like my big thing was like, hey, listen. Don't listen to all of us content creators. Most of us, I should say, are like, you know, what's WWE doing? My video the other day was underwhelming. Go home to Raw. And while I'm being genuine, those are my actual real thoughts. Is like, listen, zoomed out at the end of the day, like this like whole commentary and content shit is just like part of the entertainment and part of like talking and thinking about wrestling. At the end of the day, if you're, granted it sucks you have to pay so much, but if you're going to fucking WrestleMania to go watch Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton and CM Punk versus Roman Reigns and see how Liv Morgan and Stephanie Vaquer cap off their rivalry and see if Rhea Ripley can beat Jade Cargill or not, like, be fucking excited. That rules. You know, I don't care how much I'm on here being like, well, this sucks and this is boring and this is, you know, again. Yeah, I don't know. That was like my whole sentiment. Is I saw someone feeling guilty about being excited to go to WrestleMania, and I'm like, WrestleMania is a bucket list thing for most people.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
And a lot of it too, it's like you go online and you see like the outpouring of negative stuff in respects to all these feuds and all these stories being told, but especially of course the Pat McAfee stuff, and you do get discouraged, and it could affect your enjoyment of the product. But I think there's definitely a thing to think about, and I've tried to, you know, talk about on here to failure just because I can't get my words out of my mouth, but just like the overall scope of the WWE, like WrestleMania is for the casual viewer. It's also for in my opinion, the 25% of the WWE audience, which is children. And those children don't know the history of Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes that much.
But they love Pat McAfee.
But their dads who watch ESPN know who Pat McAfee is. Yeah. And like, to me too, I actually had this thought the other day too of, you know, before I joined Stache Club, I've always been a diehard wrestling fan. I can't really tell you if given there's been a few times where I try to start my own wrestling podcast and gave up after 5 episodes. Like I wasn't really a part of the IWC before I joined Stache Club. Really, I really was sparingly would tweet about wrestling or anything, I didn't even know who Santi Zap was before I started Stache or Weezy or any of the upper echelon of content people. So like, I really thought about that and I'm like, I just think like kind of aids to like not all WWE fans and pro wrestling fans are online, so like there are people that will enjoy this and will enjoy the whole thing. So I don't know. I guess I'm talking in circles, but it's just I don't know, man. I'm hyped for this. I'm rooting for Cody. I'm also picking Cody Rhodes to win.
Here we
too.
go. Okay, right. I forgot we were kind of doing. Yeah, okay.
I'm picking Cody Rhodes to win.
Cool.
I know he is the underdog in this, but I think you can't have him lose back-to-back old farts at WrestleMania. This is his generation. This is his time. I'm not opposed for Randy Orton to get 15 at Backlash or something. I don't know why 15 even matters. He's still one behind Ric Flair. All those title reigns, too, are like for 30 days, some for 30 seconds. I'm not trying to come out Randy Orton. He's one of my all-time favorites. But regardless, I'm QB1 to the death of me. I'm going Cody Rhodes.
I'm honestly glad we are seemingly picking different here. I'm taking Randy Orton. Less so at this point. If you were to ask me like weeks ago, especially even before the Pat McAfee stuff, I'd be like, hell yeah, he's getting number 15. At this point, I think we are going to, I don't think this is the end, especially as people are, one, to your point of like, I don't think it's the end of Cody Randy. To a lot of people's points, I don't think this is the end of this corporate sort of stuff with Pat McAfee and TKO versus WWE or whatever. If we're really going down that road, to me, it makes more sense. Especially, it's also the night one ending. It's not like the whole weekend ending. So I think you can end night one with a Randy Orton win. And also it's WrestleMania, so Randy Orton's going to win. And I agree with you. I think entering, he'll get booed because like Pat McAfee's on his side, or at least like physically with him. But if Randy wins this title, he's getting cheered for sure, I think. Depending on, unless he wins a title and Pat McAfee just slides in and like holds the title up, which like maybe is what they should do. But I'm taking Randy. I think there's a lot more story to tell, and I don't know. I just think it seems like we might be on one of the final. This might be the last time Randy Orton holds the WWE Championship. So I don't know. I just kind of see. I don't have a strong thing. I'm just kind of more so. I see more to do with Randy Orton coming out of Mania with the title than I do Cody Rhodes, even though Cody Rhodes like just recently got it back. But yeah, it's kind of where I'm at. I think Randy to close out night one. If this was closing night two, I think I'd have a different pick. But close out night one, and that's what I mean. So if you go down my list, I got Drew heel, Gunther heel, Liv heel, and then Randy Orton heel to close out. That's four heel wins, which isn't crazy, but it's something. As I was doing this, I was looking at.
But even you mentioned during the Liv Morgan of it, you know, when she gets that moment, people are gonna lose. It's more so kind of tweener for his face in that feud, just because Liv Morgan's popularity. But maybe people won't like Trouble and they'll turn on her.
Oh yeah, that's her new theme song.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Damn. That's crazy.
I didn't like her old theme song too much. I think it's a good.
I like it better than Trouble. I'll tell you that. Yeah. So I'm genuinely stoked that we are different on here because that makes for the live streams. I'm gonna be so Randy. You're gonna be so Cody. That's cool. Okay. Any other thoughts? I mean, we kind of talked about the Pat stuff, but I'm kind of just ready to move on to night two.
Yeah, there's a whole nother night to talk about.
Whole nother night. And also, I forget if we said this beforehand, but for predictions, I think before with like different shows and whatever we've done, you know, you can win one night or whatever. I think for WrestleMania, we're just doing the both weekends. It's going to be for one title shot. So like what's going to be fun is like after night one, we'll kind of see a lay of the land.
It's like the Masters.
Points.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I think that's how we're going to play it. I forget if I mentioned that or not. But starting off night two on primetime ESPN 1, as they call it. I don't call it that. But Femi versus Brock Lesnar. Who do you got and why do you got him?
I've tried to prepare myself for the inevitable booking that we've become all too familiar with over the years with Brock Lesnar, LOL, he wins. And there is some merit to like maybe why you would do that. But you can't. You absolutely can't. You got to crown the guy that has the world by the balls. He is the ruler. He is Femi. He has to right all those wrongs from years ago from Brock Lesnar just dominating the space. I'm going Femi. It's on ESPN. You have a chance to create a megastar. You already have a megastar. Propel him. I want a good match. Don't get me wrong. I do understand some thinking of like, Oba should absolutely dominate him. He sort of dominated him during this whole build, to be honest with you. I think we get a good match. I want Femi to beat Brock Lesnar. I'm picking Femi to beat Brock Lesnar.
Paul, if you were coming out here to tell the truth, you would tell everyone that Brock Lesnar is scared of Femi.
Pin at the post.
That fucking promo. And I'm not, it's not like I'm not sitting here saying that's the best promo I've ever seen in my life. It's really good. But that shit made me feel something in terms of a promo from a new guy, in terms of like we're seeing the beginning level, obviously NXT, but like we're seeing the starting point of what's going to be an incredible, 10 to 20 years, however long he wants to do this. That's the feeling I had.
It was Oba's Austin 316. I think that was like that level of like a star building promo, of like a promo you're not going to forget from a guy that like he's on the come up. Yeah, so I'm right there with you. Then that promo was generational. It made me feel something. Even Paul, you could tell in Paul Heyman's eye.
Yeah, he was like,
I'm seeing something here.
Yeah.
And I believe Paul Heyman when he says this is the true main event at WrestleMania, because I think this is by and large the most hyped match of the weekend. And very interesting that so I was under the impression that they weren't going to put this on ESPN.
Yeah, it's on ESPN.
It does make a lot of sense. Well, although I would kind of argue of like, they're going to be showing the match previews during the ESPN. I suppose like people have Netflix. People are going to watch this event regardless. I guess it doesn't really matter. But yeah, I'm hyped for
ESPN.
This.
WrestleMania's on ESPN.
Is the whole Mania on ESPN?
It's on. I believe it's on the ESPN Plus.
I don't even know what's going on anymore.
It's all confused. It's all fucking confusing.
I need R-Truth to explain to me.
I'm going Femi with all that said. But I'll tell you what, I am nervous. I'm not as nervous as most people, because I'm like, and I don't know, maybe I'm being contradictory of myself, because a lot of times I'm like, well, this booking might make more sense, and then that doesn't happen. You're fully right with the Brock Lesnar of it all. And to the point is, Brock Lesnar is going to be on ESPN for free, or, with cable, whatever. And they're going to do one or two things, which we've seen WWE play it very safe before, make these safer decisions, especially when it comes to the men's division and pre-established stars, right? Brock Lesnar's on ESPN. There's a reason why he's on ESPN. He's the immediate connection to ESPN and WWE, UFC,
NFL.
Sure. They could absolutely have Brock Lesnar win here, just because that's I'm trying to articulate it well, but they could have Brock Lesnar win here simply for the fact that people that are tuning in, watching them for free, are going to see the guy they know of Brock Lesnar get this win, and that might be, in their heads, that might be a higher likely chance, whatever. What I'm hoping is that they're using this opportunity to showcase Femi and have Femi win on ESPN TV, so when people are like, oh my God, this Femi guy just beat Brock Lesnar, the one guy I know that's on this show. I'm hoping that's the direction they go. But they can fully just, go ahead.
One way I would say that would make sense for them to be like, oh, we should have Brock go over, is would you argue that this is a massive money match?
Yeah.
You should probably do it again then, huh?
I'm into it.
And then one way you kind of cause for this to need to happen again is have the bad guy win the first one, and then have the good guy win the second one. So I am worried.
And I've been saying this from the jump too. Is I can already hear Michael Cole. I think I said this on my videos. Said this on the podcast.
What's he gonna say?
Femi just couldn't quite get it done. He's just too inexperienced to defeat the beast incarnate Brock Lesnar. Like 100%, I can hear him just being like, not quite. You know what I mean? I think that'd be the wrong move, and that would be not detrimental, but like, you have the opportunity to make a new star, and that's been a critique for a while. And now WWE's on the right path with an Oba, a Braun Breaker, a Trick Williams, a Javon Evans, and you have to, is what we're kind of alluding to earlier. This is the WrestleMania to make new stars,
and they're aware of that. And how can you even not look at Brock Lesnar's early career trajectory where
100%.
Bat out
right?
of Hell beat The Rock at SummerSlam. We're kind of
Right.
25 years later. I mean, the differences between Brock and Rock are astronomical, but in terms of star power, not completely far off. Given like The Rock in 02, I guess, right? Brock Lesnar is super well known. You have the young man beat the megastar, superstar Brock Lesnar in the biggest stage possible, and you strap the rocket to him, as we like to say here.
And also, I think last point on Brock maybe winning is, we talked about earlier. The biggest rumor is that this leads to Brock versus Gunther at SummerSlam, and then Gunther could be retiring Brock. Now, to me, it makes sense both ways. I think I fully see, like, okay, if you want Gunther to defeat Brock Lesnar and be the one to retire Brock Lesnar and beat him, you have Brock Lesnar win here, then you have Gunther do the career killer thing, and like I get it, keeping Brock Lesnar strong. However, I also see Brock Lesnar loses to Femi, and just as well, you can play the story of Gunther being like, hey, wow, you never lose. You always beat the guy at WrestleMania or whatever. Not always, but maybe it's time to put you out of your misery if you couldn't win that. There's both ways I can do it, and I think they're good. But like, I could fully see them lean to no, we have to keep him strong. And also, like, is Brock gonna want? We always hear stories about Brock and like but like, is Brock gonna want to lose like 2 times in a row to go out the door? I don't know.
Brock has no ego, but like there was a report I think many weeks ago that was like Paul Heyman and Brock went to the creative and said Brock shouldn't lose until his last match. Yeah. So that could rear its head here. Know. But I think Brock is so high on Oba.
I agree.
And like it doesn't have an ego when it comes to winning and losing. And I think
if it was up to Brock, it's the way it comes across is Brock would be like, no, let's have Oba win. You know what I mean? But it might not be up to Brock.
It might not be.
I don't know.
It's scary.
Or they just do a shoot pin. And just, you know what I mean?
That'd be nuts.
Okay. Next, again, one of my highest are we good on Oba Brock?
I think I'm pretty good.
Cool.
Yeah.
Intercontinental Championship title 6-pack ladder match with Penta defending his IC title against Javon Evans, Dragon Lee, JD McDonough, Rusev, and Rey Mysterio. Woo! We just had a whole conversation about making new stars, crown his ass, the young guy. This should be the WrestleMania of making new stars. And that's why Rey fucking Mysterio should walk out. I'm just kidding. My pick is Javon Evans. It's very much also a want pick, but I think it's the same conversation of... And also, this is on ESPN as well. This is also free on ESPN, which also 2 massive matches free on ESPN. And I hate to get into like, if this happened in this match, they're going to do this, right? If they crown Femi and showcase Femi, are they going to crown second new guy, Javon Evans? Wouldn't they want maybe... If Rey Mysterio isn't going to win the ladder match, maybe have Brock Lesnar win the, you know what I mean? Like, I try not to think about like that, but that's how it, you know what I mean? That's how it might go. But I think creating a new star on ESPN because he's going to go nuts in the match. He's going to do cutters off like ladders and shit.
Will that be his downfall?
I mean, that very well could be the story. Like, but hopefully I think it'd be such a cool thing if showcasing on ESPN, you establish Femi and Javon Evans. I want Javon Evans to climb that damn ladder and walk out as the new Intercontinental Champion. That's my pick.
And I want to pick a different pick just for to have fun, and have different horses in the race. And I do think there's a world where Dragon Lee takes that brass ring because he deserves it, and he is I think a future main event player in the WWE.
It's on ESPN. I don't think it's crazy for Rey to walk out.
Oh, really? I'm going Javon Evans. I think right what you said too. I mean, this guy is, I think, has a chance to kind of walk in Jeff Hardy's footsteps to be BTO, bigger than Obama in many ways, and to reach a level of popularity with the kids and universally everyone because he's so likable and he's so talented. I just think, him on top of the ladder with the belt, even like a Penta retain too, I think would be like not crazy, but Javon Evans and Rusev has no chance. But it's nice. He's nice and he's in the match though.
Absolutely loved his presentation on Raw because he's really been the odd one out. But I love him establishing himself as I'm the tank and the anchor in this ladder match and taking out all the high flyers and showing like, no, like, yes, it's a ladder match. This is all like flying, whatever, but ultimately I'm going to beat everyone down with a ladder. And yeah.
And a little mention of JD McDonough, just because of like,
Sure.
to me, he's dead last in terms of like who I think would win. Is that a case for him to win? Maybe. Just because he has, to me, like, oh, he's like a tag team guy. He's kind of like the fourth guy in a faction. Like, though very talented as true ball knowers know. But like out of the 6 guys in this match, I mean, you know,
yeah,
I don't know.
I'll be pretty bummed if Javon Evans doesn't. And I don't think it's a guarantee, but I'll be pretty bummed if he loses. But because like you look at like Penta, I agree. I think a retain is very solid. He's still pretty fresh getting this IC title.
And like his bravado of like kind of, you know, starting this match of being like, we're having a 6-man ladder match. I don't care. I'm crazy. Like kind of, it would pay off for him to then win the match too. But
yeah, I just think like Javon Evans it so obviously does way more. Like Dragon Lee, sure, he's been a star. Shout out AJ Styles. He uses the Styles Clash now. He's been on a great trajectory. JD, again, it'd be cool, but like he's not like becoming a single star necessarily. Rusev,
veteran.
Veteran would be like a heel win. And also Rey Mysterio, you're on ESPN. I could see it happening, but also it doesn't do much. Like why does Rey have the IC title? So, but that's where I'm at with that. All right, we can move on to Sami Zayn versus Trick Williams. What do you got? What are you thinking?
I'm going for the trifecta of the young generational black talent. And to me, saying it out loud makes me think like, no chance this is going to happen. But I'm going Trick Williams to complete the trifecta of the future of this company. I think they do it. I think they pull the trigger and have all 3 of these young men that have the company in the palm of their hands, and essentially be crowned champions, or not but the champion of the conqueror in some ways. Trick Williams will get the job done here. I'm really into this feud right now. I think it's really compelling. Sami Zayn getting booed out of the building on SmackDown really made no sense. And I'm kind of with Sami Zayn a little bit of like, where is this all coming from? It kind of aids to like the internet's theory of like, oh, the internet is 3 weeks ahead of the WWE crowd, and we've been shitting on Sami. Like, I don't know. I think there's definitely some Sami Zayn fatigue, and whether they go into it and that we get something.
Give me the double turn.
Give me the double turn. You've been asking for it.
Is so, especially now.
Yeah.
So Sammy's gonna get booed anyway.
Yes.
Trick's gonna get cheered anyway. Mid match, have Sami attempt to like clock Trick with the title or some shit. Have Trick or like have Lil Yachty or some shit, like prevent it, and then boom, you get a double turn, whatever. But I agree.
Just especially Sami heel turn, because I think there's some concern of like, oh, don't change Trick Williams just because the crowd's cheering him. He still can act like Trick Willie all the might, but like, yes, maybe bleed into the fact that the crowd is over hand and fist, just like in love with this guy and wants to cheer for him the entire time he's out there. So yeah, I think it's, like you said, perfect, man. I think you've been kind of calling it and asking for it for a bit now. I think we absolutely should get it too.
I'm also going Trick.
Nice.
I couldn't agree more in terms of the trifecta of the new young stars, and also even cooler, it's like new young black stars. All just like, I didn't even notice that it's like they're all night 2. It's like having night 2 just be like dub, be fucking sick. But yeah, and it makes me nervous because WWE doesn't always love to put over like the young new guy, but like it's after this wrestle, like you have like you look at the main events of this Mania. It's CM Punk, Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes the exception. I think he's got some years left, and Randy Orton. Should be the WrestleMania to establish your new stars. Everyone's watching. You have the most eyes on the product you ever will all year. So introduce these new stars, and you have to take the risk. If the person who's watching once a year that knows Brock Lesnar, you have to take the risk of showing Femi. And you can't just keep relying on just like, we'll keep on showing you Brock Lesnar. We'll keep on showing you Randy Orton.
He ain't gonna be there.
You gotta take the risk.
After WrestleMania, Brock won't be there.
Brock won't be there.
Oba will be there. I will say though, if we are doing the double turn, and it'd be compelling. And the chase is always better than the dream itself. Sami retaining, maybe cheating, would pop me, but also make me angry.
It would help the heel thing of it all, where it's like he turns heel and then he also retains.
And then
like,
you
it's
have
not crazy.
And then you have Trick going after the title, and Mello, who has been kind of like really been praised and
Cucked, I would say.
Was that?
I'd say cucked.
Cucked in many ways, but in publicly into the sense where people are kind of incensed by the cucking of Mello. But like I said, there's shows after WrestleMania. I think Trick and Mello chasing a heel Sami Zayn for the U.S. title is a good way to get me to watch SmackDown.
I'm into it. All right, we'll move on to we got Demon Finn Balor versus not Demon Dominik Mysterio. This one should be easy, at least to me. At least it seems predictable. I think Demon Finn Balor needs this win. It's not for a title or anything. It's not even for and the loser gets because Finn's already kicked out, so it wasn't even for the loser gets kicked out, whatever. At this point in this match, Dom's the heel here versus Finn, who's on a great run. Who we thought we were doing the face turn with the CM Punk feud. I mean, with this whole fucking Finn Balor, Dom Mysterio story and match is so long overdue. To be honest with you, I don't even super care. I think it'll be a fun match, but I'm not too invested in this. I'm excited to see Demon Finn, but also to the demon of it, you can't. If you just have Demon Finn Balor lose again at Mania, and even just you look past the demon, it's Finn Balor. I think as much as we talk about the young guy and whatever, Dom's already Dom. Dom already is the fucking guy. He was on Paper Magazine the other day. I think this is where you have Demon Finn Balor defeat Dominik Mysterio. And then both guys can move on, whatever. That's where I'm at.
This is coughing bomb for his hydrogen baby. This is.
But you could argue that going in this, Demon Finn Balor might be coughing baby.
Yeah, absolutely. No, because of the makeup, he's no longer that. He is the hydrogen bomb. I know I purposely switched the two to begin with, but regardless, I'm gonna go Finn Balor. I just think once he puts the makeup on, it's a wrap. I'm kind of
history.
I hear you, but it's been so long since we've gotten it. I think
I'm hoping this is a reset for the demon.
A reset for the demon, a reset for Finn Balor. Although, in some ways, unless this is somehow completely under the wraps and we don't know about contract situations, this could be a goodbye to Finn Balor. I don't really know, because other than that, to me, I'm just trying to speculate. It is kind of a shame that Dom Mysterio, after what happened last time Mania with the momentum he found, is just kind of in a spot where it's kind of in a. I'm assuming this might be in the death spot of night 2, and just kind of a feud with not of the feuds, not much hype to it. But though it is a testament to Dom's progress, where he is kind of in a position to put someone over in a singles match at Mania. So, Dom's really good. I want to see more AAA Dom on my TV in 2026, where he's kind of respected.
Yeah, he's still got the title.
Yeah.
And I think, which we made a flub, or at least I should say me, I made a flub last week. It's
match already happened with Vikingo.
That already, what I was thinking about was Penta is defending his IC title against Vikingo. Which I thought before, I don't fucking know. But anyway, we have the mega champion. I would like to see Domi do a little dedicated time, or more so in AAA. But yeah.
But more so, what I'm saying is in AAA, Dom is kind of booked more respectfully, where he kind of gets by on his own merits.
Oh, okay.
And he's kind of tougher.
Oh, you want to see? Oh, I get what you're saying.
He kind of handles his own shit a little bit.
You want to see more of that version of Dom? Oh, I see what you're saying. Sure, I'm into that. So you official
pick, I'm going Finn Balor. Just because I don't see a scenario where Dom, unless he cheats in such a way that we've never seen before, I just don't see Dom winning. So I'm going Finn Balor.
We might have to do it would be tough with the crowd. But I was saying we might need to do confidence points. We do have a lot of the same picks.
We do have a lot of same.
We have to do confidence points, but also that really throws. We'll just see what happens. Maybe we don't need it. Maybe we'll just kind of just let it rock. Okay. Second to last match here. I'm not sure if you mentioned earlier that we're talking what's going to be the work rate match, or what's going to be the match of the weekend. I don't know if you said we haven't talked about that yet. I don't know if we mentioned the match that people are discrediting, or if we're about to talk about it. You know,
Oh no, I'm saying I think Cody Randy might actually be like the best match of the weekend. Like they have a chance. I think. I think Cody Rhodes is a phenomenal wrestler, and I love Randy Orton. So,
well, the match we are going to is for the WWE Women's Championship. We have Jade Cargill walking in as champ versus Rhea Bloody Ripley. I'm curious your initial thoughts.
Yeah. So when this match was put to paper. And I am a wrestling fan before I'm a fan of any one individual. And I do think that there is merit to, baby faces being the heel at WrestleManias and that. And I think, when you have a massive star like, let's say, Rhea Ripley.
Ever heard of her?
You ever heard of her? You should probably have her win at the big events.
However,
with what we got with this feud and my overall thoughts in this feud is I wish maybe someone put more effort into it. Whether that's the creative side of it, or whether that's one of the wrestlers in the feud itself, I just think there's maybe some sort of lack of enthusiasm, lack of maybe perhaps being super enthused with what they're doing. Maybe some people rather be doing something else at WrestleMania, which, hey, maybe I can't blame them. But regardless, there's a story to be told, and the story that's been told has been one of the WWE champion Jade Cargill rising two of her rivals. Now we have a baddie Shield with Mia Yim and B-Fab versus Rhea Ripley, still kind of in her love cycle with Io Sky. Still can't. They said goodbye on Raw, but Rhea still.
I'm not the biggest fan of them going back to the Rio thing.
It's a bit interesting, but of course, shout out Jade, got a big win on SmackDown. First Io Sky saved her, by the way. With that suicide dive, people. I haven't heard a peep about the work rate, but regardless, I'm trying to get to my point here of like. When this match was made, I was very much like okay with like, obviously we all know how I feel about Jade Cargill. But I was really okay with the fact that like, maybe Rhea Ripley, the massive star she is, it would make perfect sense for her to beat Jade at WrestleMania. And it's not even the end of Jade. I mean, it's everyone would lose to Rhea Ripley, and realistically. With that being said, there is no goddamn thing on earth that would make me more upset if Jade Cargill were to lose this match on Mania. At this point, Rhea has not earned it. She hasn't done a good job in this feud. Jade has been built up like $1 million. She's on the press tours making media waves, podcast interview at the podcast interview, show appearance at the show appearance. Her and Trick Williams on ESPN doing the damn thing, putting the company in a great light, and she's undefeated at WrestleMania. Let's keep that going. I'm picking Jade Cargill to beat Rhea Ripley.
Wow.
And I think it would be really good, too, for, well, of course, Jade, who has been, to me, put in the kind of mainstream in a lot of ways, and Rhea, who, like, she takes this loss. If anything, it's kind of gives her a direction of like, oh man, like you kind of lost a step a little bit, Rhea Ripley. Maybe we get a heel turn on one Io Sky. Maybe she realizes that her being a love-struck puppy is the reason why she isn't the baddest woman in the planet no more. So Jade is a underdog in this match, but I'm thinking she wins it. She needs the win.
Go on, Rhea Ripley. No, I think I like your little bit of fantasy booking at the end there with Rhea's like, I'm not who I was, like, it's Io, you've been distracting me. I can't even beat Jade. I'm just kidding. But I like that fantasy booking. However, I do
she's not even a person on SmackDown, John.
You're not even a person on SmackDown. Listen, I am always like I think presentation matters, and Jade looks like a star. I just think it's WrestleMania. Not that they really consider it like a new season now. Like the new season of WWE, quote unquote, is like January 1st now. But I think it feels like, I don't want to use the term reset, but just a time to move on. Jade's been the champ for a little bit of a minute. Rhea hasn't held the gold in a while. I don't have much. I don't have nearly as much as you do in terms of explanation. But to me, it just seems like night 2, face beats the heel. Rhea wins the chase, and then Rhea's back on top, as they say. And I am curious what they do if they do end up like going back to a Rhea Io feud, or I don't know. But again, I was pretty as much as a Rio fan and a EO fan as I am, I was a little bit like we're doing this when like we're just doing the EO Rhea and like they had their like departure. They said their goodbyes.
They got really close face to face. Remember that goodbye?
Yeah. And it's like it just kind of takes away from that. And I know it's because like EO isn't doing anything on this Mania. I'll be really curious if EO. I mean, like if EO's doing nothing, she has to be involved in this match for something.
Because Rhea is outnumbered, so I think for sure we're going to see Io Sky make an appearance.
I think so too.
But I think that really sets up an opportunity maybe post match where Rhea is kind of disappointed and she looks over to that beautiful woman Io Sky that she loves so much that hey, maybe like you're the reason why I can't win. And even too, I think Rhea needs to remember the fact that she's never beaten Io Sky 1-on-1, and the fact that like whoa. Jade Cargill beat Io Sky, and then on Raw, Io lost to, it was a good match too.
Kyrie.
He lost to Kyrie, and so like now all these people are kind of beating Io Sky, and like both you bums are kind of just too distracted with like the fact that you guys are so popular and everyone loves you and you love each other that maybe that is the catalyst and the realization for Rhea. Right then and there, that the more popular, the less skilled wrestler just beats you at WrestleMania. Jade's undefeated at WrestleMania. I swear to God, I'm gonna lose my mind if Jade loses. I know it makes sense for Rhea to win. She's a massive star. This is WrestleMania, whatever. I'm losing my mind here. Jade needs to win.
I think also too when Io went out to face Jade on SmackDown, I'm pretty sure Io told Rhea not to get involved, and she didn't. She did. She did come out post match, but she didn't get involved. But like there's always something like. I told you to stay. We're like, Rhea could very much tell Io to stay in the back. And if Rhea's getting beaten down by, like you said, the baddie Shields, Io comes out. I don't think you're crazy at all in terms of that, like, storytelling, in terms of, like, Io's going to get involved because she's not on the Mania card at all. But how is that involvement going to be? It could very well end up with a heel turn of Rhea, or it could end up being Rio hugging and holding the title. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm taking Rhea. I wish I had more of an explanation, but like to me, it just seems like face taking it off the heel, a little bit of something new post Mania.
And it would make Rhea's inclusion to SmackDown kind of like permanent in many ways. Like she is now the WWE woman.
Be a person.
She can definitely be a person on SmackDown. So there is, I get it, and it will give Jade an opportunity to then go on the chase again, which is always kind of the better scenario. But I don't know, man.
But to your point, here's the thing that like I do love predictions. I do love the predictions championship, and I do want it back dearly and desperately. However, doing the predictions, which I think I do a pretty good job at avoiding this, but it does kind of force you to root for the booking decision and like who you picked, as opposed to like being there or watching WrestleMania and just like cheering my head off for Rey Mysterio.
Yeah.
Where, you know what I mean? If Rey Mysterio is touching which like great, again, I do think I do a pretty good job at like when we're watching it, disregarding the business side of stuff and like, business side of stuff, talking about our predictions or whatever.
Favorites.
Yeah. And then tally it up afterwards.
Sure.
So like, it is fun to just like, you just pick your favorite, and I'm like, believe me, like I said, I try to do a good job of this for the third time I said that, but I'm gonna be rooting my head off for Rey Mysterio in that ladder match. You know what I mean? And then afterward, we'll see who wins, and we'll tally it up after. But like in the match, like I'm always in favor of rooting for your actual favorite.
My Cody and Jade picks are a little bit heart overhead, a little bit.
That's fun, but sometimes you gotta go with your heart.
Exactly.
All right, main event of night 2, and what I would controversially call the main event of the whole damn weekend of the entirety of WrestleMania 42. We have Danhausen and John Cena coming out to do a little bit of shtick. And then after that, we have CM Punk, the champion, versus Roman Reigns for the World Heavyweight Championship. There's a lot here. To dip back over to Raw, pretty controversial, not like for like a heated reason, but controversial segment to end Raw last night. Raw was really just like, let's keep we're one damn week to Mania. Let's keep everyone healthy.
Did get some okay matches though.
Yeah. I'm glad we got we got Io Kyrie. I don't know where to start here. CM Punk. I loved CM Punk coming out there, first of all, through the crowd, which, like, say what you will, but that always instantly just gives me a little Shield reference, you know?
Okay.
And then, so it's a little mind game starting there. Even to go back further, Rich mentioned it earlier briefly, I really loved Roman Reigns' promo to start the show. Now, is it because Roman Reigns might not have been able to keep up in person on the mic? I don't know, maybe. Who's to say? But I really liked cold open on Raw of Roman Reigns just like doubling down on the, you know, kind of what Pat is saying of, yeah, Punk, you're a hypocrite. And you said, like, I don't have a wise man. You were with CM Punk, you know, this whole time. You were, you know, you did this and, you know, talking about, you know, I was treated like garbage. Meanwhile, you were the WWE champion
400 days.
For 400 days under what's his fate. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that promo really just worked me. I honestly just it kind of triggered me and made me like, oh, fuck you, Roman Reigns. To the point of like, maybe this is sort of Roman turning heel a bit just because, and then the ending, I approve this message. What the hell was that?
So it caught me so off guard. So fucking
Your
funny.
tribal chief approves this message. What the hell? Is he running for office now?
I thought
Jesus.
it was so weird, but it's just like after he's just like menacingly being like, you know, you're a coward or whatever he says in this. This match has been brought to you by a tribal chief.
Yeah.
his like voice is like, it's
weird.
So funny. I loved it because it's silly and funny. But then yeah, we get to the promo at the end of the night. Punk really strong and, you know, progressively making his way into the ring. Roman's like, if you get into this ring, like, we don't need these mics. And then breaking down of just like, you know what? For weeks, we've said, I hate you for X, Y, and Z. And then the final promo, it really breaks down of like, you know what? I don't actually hate you for this reason. The reason I hate you is because of envy. And they both basically admit to each other that I have such a disdain for you because I am envious and jealous of you. Punk coming from the perspective of, I'm envious that this was and continues to get handed to you, that you were born for this, that your family is so ingrained in this, and I don't love that I, you know, had to go through. He's prideful of what he's done, but he's like, yeah, like shit would have been way easier if I was just hand selected. Roman,
Tell your dad to do better.
Tell your dad to do better. Oh yeah, he did. He did mention his dad again. But he apologized for bringing up his dad. He was like. I was so caught up in the throes of like trying to get in your head and I hate you that I brought up your dad's name in vain. And I apologize for doing that. There was even a moment where Punk was like, you know, hey, people don't want to give you the credit, but you've worked your ass off. And you know, people kind of took that on Twitter and like, you know, the way Roman kind of reacted was like, you know, I don't think Roman gets that much. Then Roman's side was very just, you know what, you know, with it's at that point we're coming across as mutual respect but envy and that form of hatred, and then Roman just being like, I'm envious of you can leave this place for 10 years and they'll still chant your name every single Raw or SmackDown or whatever for 10 years. I'm envious because I'm almost afraid or I want that to happen to me. Like, I'm afraid it won't happen to me if I leave and they won't miss me, and I'm envious of the connection you have with the fans and you know, blah, blah, blah. So that was kind of the lay of the land. Initially, I walked away from it being like, kind of a mid promo, like, you know, it's
For
kind
a
of whatever.
go home Raw?
Yeah, which I still agree. And a lot of people are saying, like, it could have been somewhere else. Maybe this could have been a couple weeks ago and whatever. But my response to that is you need the building blocks of I hate you, I hate you, I hate you to get this. And I like that this was the final one of just like you break it down to, okay, you know what? Here's the truth. Because this is our last one and our next encounter is us fighting each other. Here's the truth. Here's what's in my heart. Here's what I'm thinking. That was really interesting. I don't think the promo, like, the direction is interesting. I don't think like it was like a great, like an all-timer promo, but I liked what it accomplished. Roman Reigns, I'm going on for a while.
I would disagree with you just because too.
On which part?
The fact, just mostly over the fact that like we didn't get physicality, just because we had already seen like 4 brawls on the show.
I'm glad we didn't get physicality.
You know, yeah, and more so too of like Punk. A little bit of sort of Punk realizing the reasons why he hates Roman and vice versa. So I did like that to a degree. It kind of, you know, I know I had a point in my head and I kind of lost it, but
no, that's fine.
Go on.
I'm sure you'll get it back. But yeah, and then the biggest critique here is just like Punk. I thought was very solid, and then it gets to Roman, and granted, thank God he didn't just go, well, you're still old. That would have been bad. But Roman didn't really seem like his rebuttal wasn't nearly on the same level as Punk. It seemed like it was a little bit of a Punk carry job, in my opinion. And Roman's had good promos, but he didn't, for Roman's side of this being a go-home, promo, Roman's side didn't really hit for me. Which, again, I liked the sentiment of everything. My takeaway, I think I said somewhere else, was the emotions conveyed, which is maybe you could argue is the more important thing. The emotions conveyed in this promo outweighed the actual context of what they said. It's kind of where I'm coming from on that. But to your point, I'm glad, and this is I saw a lot of people critical of the Oba Brock segment where they were like, "This is what we're getting for the end of Oba Brock. Like, I want them to tear each other apart." They've been tearing each other apart for weeks. Like you said, there were already 2 or 3 brawls on Raw. Like, I didn't want this, and we've also got like the Roman and Punk brawls have already been meh.
Yeah.
I don't think this needed to end with like them fighting or whatever. Like, do the honesty thing. The next time we see each other, then we're gonna actually fight or whatever.
But it would have been at least nice for a Roman Reigns zinger. I think we were kind of waiting for a Roman Reigns zinger. Regardless if it was going to be all the Larry mentioned, people wanted the dog mentioned.
We were waiting for a Roman Reigns bazinga.
Yeah, we were waiting for something, and we really got a little just kind of, I don't want to say, just almost calm.
It was just passable.
Yeah.
It was very just like, it didn't seem like, again, I think Punk carried in that. But yeah.
Kind of this whole feud, to be honest with you.
And then now I'm seeing the conversation, and I don't think it's that crazy. I don't know if I'm having it, but after this promo and seeing the Punk carry job, and you're right, Punk's kind of, Punk carry him, and he's even mentioning, he's like, I'm the one that's fucking here, and, whatever. Which it is really just crazy that you can't just like, how does the guy not show up everywhere? And it's like, you're...
one day a week, man.
It's one day a week, and it's WrestleMania. I don't know. But
the fact that we had any Raws without Roman Reigns, and the fact that
crazy.
Too he is. I mean, I get the purpose of like not wanting these massive stars in their part-time schedules to have a match on Raw. You save them for the big pay-per-views, but like, the fact that we are in this wrestling company, and Punk too hasn't had like a match since like I think Elimination Chamber. So like the fact that we don't see these guys wrestling on Raw. At least one time the last like 6 weeks is pretty freaking nuts, man. Like I just remember growing up, like they at least would throw like Austin and Rock in like on the bill to X8 in like a 6-man tag or something.
Sure.
Like I don't know, just the fact that we've seen these guys talk. I think this is what their 3rd or 4th time in a row. It's just
it's Roman's 2nd, but it's about Punk's 5th.
Yeah, and like it reminds me too from my feelings towards Roman Reigns, because like I do still enjoy him as a wrestler, but it reminds me of like when Cena announced his retirement tour like a year prior to when he was actually ready to be involved with storylines.
Yeah,
it gave me heat for Cena. It did. It made me sort of like look at him like, oh, you're kind of like a heel, bro, and then eventually he turned actual heel. So that kind of brings me to like what I think is going to happen, which I think Roman Reigns is preparing us for like a Roman Reigns like official heel turn. Just because he's facing Punk, who's been like I want to say the people's champion, even though it's tough because they're both very popular, and then Punk has had a battle OTC chance almost every arena he goes to. I think those will eventually change. And people aren't going to like this. You're not going to like this. But I think there's a relationship between Roman Reigns and Pat McAfee and TKO. And I
think that's crazy.
I think there will be a relationship. I don't know if we get the reveal, or maybe, because my pick at the end of the day, I'm picking Roman Reigns over CM Punk, to my dismay. And I want to say there's going to be some McAfee involved. I want to say there might be a TKO involvement. I mean, of course, I'm the boy who cries Rock. Wouldn't hate if Rock showed up to any of the nights of WrestleMania to be the face of the TKO corporation, whatever. But of course, I'm just getting ahead of myself, the fantasy booking. But regardless, even like the promo Roman Reigns used was he used the Pat McAfee promo footage.
The beginning video package, he was defending Pat. I don't think that's crazy of him. If we're really going to TKO versus WWE, Roman is team TKO for sure.
And like you go over to McAfee's commentating career, and even like him talking on his show, he is like the biggest tribal chief glazer ever. Pat McAfee will like jump up on the table and acknowledge he loves Roman Reigns. So I could really see them going into like Roman Reigns being the face of TKO and him being a heel champion. So I'm picking Roman Reigns to beat Punk.
It's crazy, and I think especially after the past couple of promos, I think the momentum shifted to Punk, and especially with Roman not showing up, there's a conversation like, okay, if Roman wins, is he really gonna still be a defending champion? If CM Punk wins, he's still gonna be on Raw every single week, and maybe we just have a feel good, especially in my booking, if I have Randy closing out night 1 with the championship, I feel like you gotta have feel good and Mania on a high note, which is sometimes what I always get stuck in, but also 39. I'm also going Roman Reigns.
Okay.
I think
I want Punk to win. I'll say that, but
I agree.
Yeah.
I think we're definitely in the same boat as that. I think it's a more interest. I don't know if it's more interesting, but at least I see more upside of a Punk win.
Yeah.
But Roman Reigns is is a couple things. One, he hasn't been champion in a while. Two, if we're talking about getting back to like the prime of WWE, the last prime they had was when Roman Reigns was a heel doing tribal chief stuff. So and they've been really tiptoeing back to like bloodline stuff in a lot of different ways. So
MFT's on Raw. You see those guys?
Awesome. Hell yeah. So I could see them just doing like, the second coming of the tribal chief with Roman Reigns taking the title off Punk to close out. And again, it's WrestleMania, so at WrestleMania he'll be a heel, but at WrestleMania he'll get cheered because he's Roman Reigns, depending on what he does in the match. I am really curious to hear what the reception of these two guys is going to be. I think they'll both get cheered.
Yeah.
But I'm curious if it's going to be like, I'm curious if we'll be surprised of like, oh, wow, like they're really booing Punk or they're really cheering Punk more than I thought.
It's almost, really for me though, WrestleMania fan reactions almost don't play a factor whatsoever, just because it's in such a large stadium where you don't it's all just noise. You really can't really tell if like, it's massive boos, it's massive cheers. But I think, if the goal is to get boos, it's you tag McAfee on a Roman Reigns or Roman Reigns maybe just like kill CM Punk to a violent degree. But regardless, I just think it's
I say keep physically in this match at least. Keep McAfee out. Yeah. Because then if we get Pat McAfee in the main event of both nights, the world's gonna explode.
Yeah.
It'd be crazy.
My booking with I have Cody winning night 1, so you're like, by definition, then McAfee, then you can't he's gone from WWE television.
And then he has to align himself with
and then he just backtracks and they're like, I'm gonna go be tribal chiefing now.
I'm not in the Ooh. He did say pro wrestling business.
Who did?
Pat McAfee. He didn't say sports entertainment business.
Oh my God. And here's the thing, like Roman Reigns can't show up week to week. Maybe they have Pat McAfee show up week to week and represent the tribal chief. And I think there's a connection with the TKO Roman Reigns of it.
I don't think that's crazy.
Even like, we talked about how like some of the stuff is representing a little bit unintentionally or intentionally with the shoot style promos of like political alignment.
Sure,
Roman Reigns is very kind of famously on one side. So like,
I saw a tweet that was like, that was in regards to WWE versus TKO. I saw a tweet that was like, they're really gonna run MAGA versus Libs on WTV. Crazy. One more point about Roman. It's kind of what I was saying earlier is because of after this promo and after this, his contribution or lack thereof of this feud, a lot of people are starting to have the conversation like, what is Roman Reigns as a wrestler? If he's not wrestling on TV, he's definitely improved in the ring, but he's not like an all-timer, in-ring guy. He has his days on the mic, but he's, wasn't keeping up with Punk. He doesn't even show up. Like, again, it's not a conversation I'm necessarily having, but it's interesting to see people being like, hey, like, what the hell is Roman Reigns even to wrestling at this point? Like I said, I don't know if I'm having that conversation.
He's a Godfather merchant, and not Godfather like the character back in the day. I'm talking about Godfather, like the mafioso storyline merchant. And here's the thing: I love Roman Reigns, and I respect him. But when you talk about like not Mount Rushmore, but like you go over the eras of WWE, you got the Hogan babyface #1. That translates to then Austin, babyface number 1. You kind of had a Rock sharing that spotlight for a bit in the stopgap to then, Cena on top for 15 years, babyface. Then you get to Roman Reigns, which it gets really murky and interesting, where he was anointed the top guy as a babyface, but honestly failed tremendously. Reimagined as a heel in like the early 2020s, got over, but again, that was as a heel. Right. And so that is it really? And then of course, thankfully, him being so over and getting us into a new era of WWE where it's so mainstream and awesome, it propelled Cody Rhodes to be the next guy. So my thinking is Roman Reigns is kind of just one-dimensional in the fact that he can really only be the top guy as a heel, and I think we're going full-blown Roman Reigns heel back to where we were. And
I agree. Wow, interesting. I didn't expect us to both pick Roman. Interesting. Okay, well, that's kind of it for our predictions. I mean, there's other stuff to talk about. Not really. And obviously, like I said, I kind of joked about like Danhausen and John Cena will have a little spot, and that'll be funny. But ultimately, I'm excited for Mania, man. Mania is always a good time, regardless of what I mentioned earlier, but regardless of what lead up is or commentary is. Like at the end of the day, I'm excited to sit there with you and try to get this damn SCW Predictions Championship back. But folks, we have a little bit of Dynasty. I think we should tap into, but stream. Which I should be plugging that in videos more. This weekend, right here on the Stache Club channel. That's the plug. Okay, real quick, we can kind of chat about Dynasty, great show.
Yes,
I thought the shit rocked.
Absolutely.
We can kind of just talk like loosey goosey about it. I think we can definitely get to like the biggest main point is MJF retained his AEW championship over Kenny Omega, and then he will tonight. He's gonna face Darby Allin for the title, who also defeated Andrade in that same night, who was really just pitching a tent there. Huh?
Your short form for like the Dynamite preview is done pretty well, yeah.
Yeah. Or the post
Dynasty
MJF winning. Yeah.
Good job on that. I just want to say.
Thank you.
I want to say what because I immediately watched the full thing and then reposted it myself just because like the first few seconds of that, and this is probably better to be off card, whatever. But the first few seconds of that, like, you really pulled me in with like the whole. You immediately just go like, could Darby Allin win the AEW title on Wednesday? So that really initially pulled me in, and then like I obviously had just watched the because I did watch Dynasty live as it happened. I did fall asleep for the main event because I
was sleepy.
I'm an old ass man.
Yeah.
And
I had to rewind it a little bit. I dozed off once or twice.
Well, then oddly enough, and I should probably admit this, but for some reason on YouTube, the entire pay per view was there the next day.
I heard someone ripped it. Right?
Yeah, someone ripped it, and it wasn't under like AEW Dynasty. It was like just the date. I watched the whole match, and it was fantastic. The god of professional wrestling, Kenny Omega versus the devil MJF. A terrific main event. Once though it kind of maybe took away with it just because I knew while watching it MJF was going to win. But regardless, a very good match though, and a few spots that I really liked. Well, I will say though, we had to have a discussion with wrestling with disqualifications because that table spot and the use of the table in that match calls for a disqualification. I'm just joking, but regardless.
But hey, I mean, in video games, if you SmackDown versus Raw, if you put someone through a table, that's a DQ.
I agree.
I do also love the concept of just like, and commentary always puts it over. It's just like, props to the ref for just letting them fight. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
I also love this match. We definitely talk about the match, but like instant news because like I said, it's happening later tonight. MJF versus Darby Allin. Like I said, that was kind of the thesis, which again, I appreciate you saying that. I've definitely been like, I'm trying to get more into short form. And I'm really trying to like, that's the whole thing is like the hook, right?
Yeah.
Is like what's that first thing to say? And I've really been trying to like get that better. And that was like one where I was like, okay, what do I say first? Like but is Darby Allin winning tonight?
Your video kind of got me thinking, maybe, possibly, which like
Mania week.
As an MJF stan, I don't like it. Don't ignore WrestleMania. WWE doesn't exist when we're talking about AEW. Honestly, MJF retaining against Omega surprised me. I thought Omega was gonna beat MJF to set up something against Ospreay at the next show.
Yeah, I really wasn't sure what was gonna happen. It was an unpredictable match.
And I will say too, overall predictions wise, I think I got one match right. I think I got Thekla over Jamie Hayter right, and that was it.
I didn't do great. I think I made a separate video because like we did film something separate, and then like 4 more matches got added and it got outdated.
Yeah.
But I made one on my own. I think afterward, the top comment was like, how'd you go 0 for 5 in the first ones? Like, I was like, Cope and Cage is winning.
No, the Canadians won, and then we haven't mentioned it
Yeah.
yet because we had so much to talk about last episode. But hey, Chris Jericho's back.
Oh yeah, we
didn't mention
And
that one time.
I thought his match with Ricochet was great.
It was pretty good. He's
know?
he's gotten himself in shape.
I'm kind of into it.
And as much as I've soured on Ricochet because of whatever, he is a heel. And I thought it was really good that he went over Jericho. I thought that was a really kind of selfless thing from Jericho and kind of just the right move.
Yeah.
And I'm very curious to see what they do going forward with him, where I think his gimmick is just like running back the classics, which I think is really
fine with
funny.
that.
Yeah, it's kind of a perfect role for Jericho. And then another surprising thing, FTR retaining the best tag team in the freaking world, retaining against
Yep.
Cope and Cage in Canada, which and then to me, while I was watching the pay-per-view, I'm like, oh, if the old timers from Canada are losing, that means Omega's going to win the main event.
Yeah.
And then we didn't get that.
No Canadians won in
Wild.
Canada. Also, Cope getting his head smashed in with the title. There's like full crimson mask.
Crazy. That was a
really
hard
fun.
way too, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We got. I guess we can just kind of run down the card and get a quick 2 cents because we are kind of coming into a long version of the show. But Bucks defeated Okada and Takeshita. This match ruled too. God, this match ruled. I'm so excited for just like, which will probably happen. I don't know about a Double or Nothing, but maybe it's like the big all-in match. I mean, I would love it at Double or Nothing. Maybe we'll have it at Double or Nothing. Okada versus Takeshita is gonna fucking rock. Dude.
It's going to be generational.
Yeah. So that match, ton of fun. Honestly, I kind of want to go back to it. Yeah, you mentioned Ricochet defeating Jericho, and like, oh, you know what's interesting? Which a lot of people have been saying this, and I've been kind of just like ignoring it. But on Wikipedia, he's just going by Jericho. No Chris. People have been saying, did he just change his name to Jericho? Because even when he pulled out the list, it just said Jericho. He might just be Jericho now.
I love that. And then eventually we're going to get to him just being, his name is going to be like his logo, like Prince.
Honestly, kind of love it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really like this match. You still got it, Chance. And I was pretty like, when Jericho first returned to AEW, I think I made a video being a little bit more hyperbolic about, for the sake of just making content. I was like, what is he going to do in AEW?
Valid question.
Which, yeah, sure. But at the end of the day, I think people forget, man, Chris Jericho, it annoys me. And sure, you don't have to like it's just like years ago, learning tree, whatever. You don't have to like what he's doing, but like it's crazy how like people will see Jericho doing something like, bad on TV or annoying, or they're just like, or sloppy in the ring, and they're like, God, Chris Jericho sucks, and he's always sucked, and he's always been bad. Just because him being a 50-something-year-old man right now isn't exactly what you like, you discredit his match with Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania. You know what I mean? Like, it is, like, at the end of the day, he is, reinventing himself character-wise, one of the best. He needs to be in the conversation of all. He's not, a top 3 all-timer, but, like, Chris Jericho deserves his flowers. And
if a wrestling fan told me, like, he thinks Jericho's the greatest of all time, I wouldn't scoffle. I wouldn't scoffle at them,
Yeah. And if someone told, if a wrestling, and everything's objective.
Of course.
Or subjective.
Subjective, yep.
But if a real wrestling fan told me, like, Jericho means nothing to professional wrestling,
I'd beat him up.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But all right, and then we had Darby Allin defeating Andrade, and we have match and wrestler of the week to get to.
Oh boy!
But spoilers, this might be it.
Yeah,
I think
right there with you.
Darby and Andrade is my match of the week. This shit rocked.
Wrong person won, but that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion.
I am a Darby Allin fan, but I'm so hot on Andrade, dude. And I personally, I think would have just liked the style of match that Andrade is currently putting on with an MJF or Kenny Omega. At that point, we didn't know who he was, facing. But yeah, I'm not mad at Darby winning, but I was rooting for Andrade. I'm fully with you. FTR and Copenhagen.
This crazy part of that match where, like, I know it's the gimmick and like he does it almost, every at least big match or at least once per match, whatever. It's his shtick, whatever. But like he didn't do it. The crowd starts chanting for him to take his pants off.
Oh yeah,
and then he takes his pants off. But like again, if the crowd had never started chanting that, I don't think he would have ripped his pants off. It's such a crazy like.
I like that, huh?
Because I was watching it, and I'm like, oh, like whatever, and then like I noticed all the crowd like starts like the momentum for this chant, and then he did the pants rip off. I really don't think he was gonna do it unless the crowd chants, which I think is such a cool.
Yeah, it makes the match like interactive.
And his dick is so hard the entire time. It's
so
crazy.
That happened. I forget when that happened, but when he first did the taking his pants, I think it was like it might have been at Revolution, whatever the match was at Revolution, and his dick was hard. And no one really talked about it. And I didn't really want to bring it up because I was like, am I the only one saying that?
Yeah.
And then it happened again here.
That's all I was looking at the entire. Not actually, because this match was awesome. But like again, like he's packing.
And
which
also,
is good for him.
Also, the idea, it was like the running idea of that, like causing harm to people and like beating people up. Gets him just like so turned on. It's just, you know what I mean?
He's the man. He's an enigma. And then shout out the young lady that took the picture. That's another kind of shtick with him.
Love
the
it.
Selfie with the girl.
Which again, it's like all these reasons are like, I think, I would have loved it. Which again, maybe it is like a, I guess on paper, if like, MJF ended up winning, MJF is a heel and Darby Allin's the face, but like, I get it. Maybe you don't want to do MJF versus Andrade, but also who cares?
Hopefully they're saving him for when he's supposed to win. You know what I mean? Like, MJF's probably, I think MJF will beat Darby Allin.
I hope Andrade gets that title,
Me too.
dude.
Me too.
Ooh.
Big Andrade guy.
But yeah, I don't think Darby's winning tonight, especially if like the next pay-per-view is in New York, MJF, being a Long Island guy.
But it is like kind of Darby is due to beat MJF in some way, shape, or form because MJF has historically always beaten Darby with the freaking
the takeover headlock or whatever. I'm definitely gonna be tuned in tonight. I don't know if I'm streaming it, but I'll definitely be tuned in.
My dumbass though, the show is in Washington. It's in Everett, Washington. And I thought, like, isn't that where Mount Everest is?
I thought you were going to say Everett, Mass. You're like,
oh,
whoa.
God, I'd be there.
All right. Then we had, Kevin Knight, dude, the new TNT champion. Fuck yeah.
Awesome.
Oh, my God. Over the moon for that. That match was so fun. I like that
finish.
Match a lot.
I was shocked. I thought maybe Speedball broke his legs from Kevin Knight jumping, and then, like, he got the residual, and I'm like, oh, my God. And then he pinned Garcia, I believe.
So good.
Really good. I mean, the guy's a superstar.
Tekla defeating Jamie Hayter. Fun match. Speaking of superstars, Tekla, dude. Aura. I like this match a lot. I think it was the right decision for Tekla to go over Jamie. Solid women's championship match.
I'm right there with you. I really enjoy Thekla, and it's unfortunate. Jamie Hayter, among my favorite women's wrestlers. She's in the brawling birds right now. So to me, I'm like, she's kind of a tag team wrestler, but regardless, she is a former AEW Women's Champion, and she will get there eventually again.
Jon Moxley defeated Will Ospreay to retain the Continental Championship. Controversial match.
Yeah,
and I'll tell you what. Not to show my hand, in the running for my match of the night. I went Darby and Andrade, snuck past it, but I love Mox and Ospreay, and we can talk about it if we want, but Twitter's having a damn field day with that paradigm shift into a fucking hidden blade. Personally, I love it. Mm-hmm. Oh, I loved it. Are you a little iffy on it?
I'm a little iffy on it. I am. I back in my day, they used to sell these moves. But regardless, though, like in a vacuum, is kind of a saying I've been using a lot. Just whatever.
I've been saying that too.
Yeah, it was a good match. It really was. But then like you do. I have been seeing like the rhetoric online of like them comparing stuff, and like one thing, if you ever want a banger tweet and to go viral with negativity, just quote tweet anything from AEW and go Undertaker was right, and then people will fucking gravitate towards that, and you'll get a bunch of whatever. Ospreay, one of the best athletes in the ring, and it's just really good to see him have a very good match with Moxley. Moxley to me is the ace of AEW, and Moxley won.
Yes,
dude, which surprised me again.
Dude, me too. Yeah. I thought Will Ospreay was getting this for sure. Dude, Moxley, like, I think it's just because like he's in AEW. I hate how discredited Jon Moxley gets. I don't know how you see, and again, I think it's just like I gotta hate the AEW guy if you're like that sort of person. I don't know how you see Jon Moxley and you watch, and sure, you don't have to like all the blood or like, it's even a little much for me when he gets like the shit, the wooden spokes in his head or whatever the fuck,
I hate that spot. Yeah.
Like, sure, he get me over the top. At the end of the day, though, I don't know how you watch a match like this and you're like, Jon Moxley sucks at pro wrestling. This guy is one of the best I've ever seen at pro wrestling. And I can hear the comments now. We get it in like TikToks all the time. It's like, this guy really thinks Jon Moxley's a better wrestler than Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
By a fucking mile.
What? By a mile. But those haters and those assholes are just like Jim Cornette podcast listeners that will regurgitate whatever Jim says, and like, because he's been famous to be like, oh, Moxley's one of the worst wrestlers ever. He had a bad.
He's so fucking cool.
Yeah, he's beyond cool.
And he's a great in-ring wrestler. And he's better.
Believable, and yeah, psychology's there, and like, yes, the violence, whatever. And I was someone years ago that Moxley had a bad few years, I think, but since then he has been the ace of AEW. He is on the Mount Rushmore of AEW, and he's a phenomenal professional wrestler.
I agree. Couldn't agree more. All right, to wrap it up, we also got a pretty fun match with the Trios Championship. We got a conglomeration, which a cool as hell entrance by Kyle O'Reilly, or return, I guess you can even say, taking the titles off the Dogs, which I thought that was surprising to me.
Very surprising. Yeah. Maybe because they realized, like, man, we put over so many heels, and we need some goodwill, and those Trios titles can always kind of bounce around anyway.
I'm fine with that for sure, yeah.
I would like to see a full episode of the conglomeration as a sitcom. I really would.
I wouldn't be shocked if they do it. I really wouldn't. And I thought, which like I didn't know too much about it, but I'm gonna butcher this. Hold on.
Do you remember who Kyle O'Reilly was replacing? Do you remember who was originally? Was it Ishii?
I do not. No. So, am I getting this? Okay, sorry. I thought him busting through the door was like him being Kramer from Seinfeld.
Yeah.
But then, and maybe I'm missing what people are saying, but I guess there was a hardcore musician, a guitarist for the band Harm's Way, Bo Luders, Lueders.
Been seeing a lot of people pay respects to him. Yeah.
Yeah, he just passed away, and I saw like Brody, Punk, and Danhausen. A few other people were at like his funeral. So a lot of people had a connection to this guy, and obviously rest in peace. But people said that something about Kyle O'Reilly's entrance was an ode to Bo, maybe. I'm not sure. I'm kind of just speaking out my ass. I don't really. I am very
coming from a good place, though, paying respects to a guy that really meant a lot to a lot of wrestlers. So that's like, yeah, it
was definitely cool to see like people doing tributes and seeing people like show their support for this guy who clearly, again, I don't know the band or anything, but clearly
left his mark.
Passed away too young and left his mark for sure. So yeah, R.I.P. to him. But yeah, okay. I guess real quick, we already said our match of the week. Do you have a wrestler of the week?
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking on the fly here, but
yeah, me too. I'll give you a second. I'm going MJF.
You're not going back to back Pat McAfee?
No, not this week. Not this week. I'm going MJF. The match ruled. I love like he's so. Did you see like the little? I think it was like an online thing where he went to Renee was trying to get him for like a post match thing, and he was like, hey, sweetie, I'm gonna stop you right there because I don't have too much time. I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna bang my wife, and I'm gonna like, god damn, he's so fucking good. Someone MJF for the retain.
I'm gonna go for the best in-ring woman in professional wrestling right now, Io Sky. She lost back-to-back matches this week, but you're like, oh, Jimmy, that's weird. Like, how is she the rest of the week? She lost 2 matches. Well, guess what, pal? Wins and losses in this great sport don't always matter. Sometimes the losses mean more than the wins, and those losses put over 2 women that also deserves shine and wins. And Io Sky, people. I haven't seen people say Io carried Jade during that match, but there was a lot of like, oh, watch how many botches that match is going to have. And there was no botches. That match was fine. It was a good match. Better than any match Julia has had in the main roster. But regardless of my beefs with the Julia Nation out there, I'm blocked by like 80 people that have like Julia accounts on Twitter. It's crazy. And then also a really good match with Kairi Sane on Raw too. And Io Sky in some shape, way, or form will be at WrestleMania. So it does suck she doesn't have a match, but hey.
I think that's our phrase to end it. Get Io to Mania.
Yes.
Or Io Mania.
I like Io Mania.
Io Mania. We can do that. Folks, thanks for being here. A couple things. Patreon.com/Stache Club Wrestling. We are going for a whole other hour. We're chit-chatting with your questions and what have you. And we also, again, a reminder. I'm going to try to do a reminder. I got to remember to put it in like the videos and shit this week. But live stream this weekend. Both nights in person. It's going to rock. And yeah, with that said, For some reason, I feel like we're forgetting something, but we are nearing 2 hours, and this is the whole damn show, no RVD. Folks, we'll see you in the Patreon. Thank you for being here. We appreciate support as always. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Stay curious.
10 out of 10 times. If I see a wrestling tee out in the wild, doesn't matter if it's vintage or it's new, I'm complimenting that tee.
Yeah.
It can be a Ms. I love my balls or whatever the fuck shirt. I'm be like, yo.
Have you been noticing the quality of the chickens going down a little bit?
Of the
rotisseries?
Let's get straight to the point. I need a draft of pizza toppings. Ooh. Keep up the good work and keep killing the shit. Appreciate that. Ooh. Asking you shall receive. Liv Morgan for Song of the Year. And they have a second part, but